Hey guys. I know I'm getting this out late and I'm not sure what time it will upload, but also I know that I said I was going to do something about another child today. This came in this morning and I've debated all day. Plus, I've had a real close friend who's had a situation in their life, and I've been trying to help them deal with that. But the video that I was sent, or the link that I was sent this morning, was the Newsline or the Skyline news guy. Remember when he went back or went up there early on in the Summerwells case? I think it was maybe 4 or 5 months into the case or into the investigation that he went up there and started asking questions and stuff. But anyways, let's take it back a step. Do you remember the other day when I did a video where Cow Lady says, talking to Doug, and she's telling Doug to stop begging Don to come on his panel, and that Don knows what Candace did, and that he knows that Candace is suffering as much as he is, blah, 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 whatever it was. Anyways, I'm fixing to play that tip for you. Keep that in mind, okay? And then I'll be right back.
But you over there saying a week ago I was coddling Don and Candace, but you're literally over there begging, okay? And don't bash Don's wife, because he don't like it. Don knows the truth about, what happened with Candace. He knows Candace is grieving like he is. And so when you come at Don saying, oh, your wife did this, your wife did that, he don't want to hear that shit, okay?
Now, I want to put out there first and foremost, I may stop this here periodically, but I'm not saying this is what happened, okay? I'm just thinking that when this clip was sent to me and I rewatched it, I mean, it's been what, a year and something since we've seen it, or since I've seen it. It just sort of triggered a memory for me about another video I did about there was some viewers got a hold of me, and they sent me some information about a hitchhiker that they had picked up and a story that they were told. And I'll get into that here in just a minute. But let's listen to what this guy says, okay? Now, like I said, by no means am I saying this is what happened. I'm not saying that I believe this is what happened. I'm just putting the information out there because the stories seem too similar and from two totally different directions. So listen up, and then I'll be back periodically.
We had the opportunity to meet a young man, and I've got a message for that young man at the end of this here, and I'll share it with you. But that young man had a story to tell, and he told me right out there in his driveway after we were told to go see this person. And let me remind you, you've been looking for a red Toyota truck Tacoma with a ladder rack in the back of it, right? With some ladders in the back of it.
And why he makes a big deal about the red truck with the ladder racks and all that is beyond me, because I don't believe, I may be mistaken, but I've listened to it a few times. I don't believe he ever says anything else about that red truck. Just pointing that out there, guys.
We were told to go see this person, and we spoke with this person. And this person said that we should go to the horse pond. And he said that he spoke with Don Wells, which is the father of Summer Wells, approximately 3 hours is what he said, after she was gone missing.
Now, I'm not for sure, and I myself never believed that law enforcement allowed Don Wells to go and talk to the neighbors and question them. But can we really believe that Don was allowed to go anywhere within 3 hours of him getting home, of the baby going missing, and talk to anybody about what he thought or what he felt? Think about it, guys. I mean, I don't know if I can believe this guy or not, but not the news guy, but the guy he supposedly talked to.
And that Mr. Wells had concerns about his daughter, but he talked about a book and talked about a sacrifice, okay? A sacrifice.
Now, keep in mind, guys, Don Wells was cramming down that book, the SDA book, pamphlet, whatever you want to call it, down everybody's throat. And I believe that if we remember correctly, this guy was supposedly possibly an addict. And did he get a sacrifice or the story about the SDA church mixed up? Or even possibly remember Don talking about how the angels said that he kept hearing them tell him that something bad was going to happen to Summer. Could this story have all gotten garbled together? Maybe that's what he's speaking of.
That's what this man told me. So this is firsthand. He says he spoke with him directly 3 hours. Then he tells me as a reporter, and I say this as a reporter because that's important here in just a minute. So he goes on and says, you need to go check out the horse pond. And I said, where is the horse pond? He says, it's at Warrior Path. And that is kind of like a state park kind of thing where families go. They go horseback riding. They go in the lake out there and ride around and swim and so forth like this. But there is a certain area where a lot of families go that is a campsite area. And then there's another area that is a horse area, but other families go there to swim occasionally, okay? But he says that, this is what he said. I'm just telling you what he said, and we'll put this in print. But the man says that he was led to believe, okay, that...
Now, he was led to believe, is that meaning that Don made him think that this is what happened? Or did Don tell him this is what happened? Did Don tell him this is what he thinks happened? That can be took several different ways, guys, but just keep in mind, he was led to believe.
This is what he thinks has happened. That, I have to be careful how I word this, that this is what he said. And I'm reporting to you what he said. He said that Summerwells drowned at that horse pond. And when she drowned at that horse pond, the mother was upset about it and freaked out. And apparently it was an accident, okay? And in that accident, they brought the body home. Apparently nobody wanted to know anything was going on. That's what I got. And I asked that man that. Is that what you're saying? Nobody wanted to know? They didn't want anybody to know what was going on? He said yes. So he goes on and he says, I would go check the last construction site that Mr. Wells worked at.
Now, from my understanding, guys, TBI and everybody involved in this, as far as the law enforcement is concerned, did go and check out the Tucker drywall work sites, all that stuff. So I'm sure that's all been checked into.
And I said, okay, do you know where it is? He says, no. And I said, okay. And he was very adamant about it. He's no, just no. And that was it. And so I called around, and some neighbors that were in the area told me where Mr. Wells worked at, and it was for a Tucker building company. And I called Mr. Roger Tucker, who is the owner of that building company, and Mr. Tucker told us that he did work for him. He is no longer working for him, and that he would not answer any of our questions about where that construction site is, but that he confirmed that he is working with the FBI and the TBI in regards to this entire incident.
Now we're getting into some interesting stuff here, because if Tucker had told this news guy that, Don doesn't work for him anymore, that he's working with all the law enforcement, but he specifically names he's working with the FBI and the TBI. Now, if you all will recall, just shortly days ago, we heard that reference recently. They didn't want to ask or answer questions. They were not going to discuss anything that was discussed with law enforcement. And if anybody had any questions, go talk to the FBI, TBI, or Hawkins County. To me, it's strange because we have all been begging for the FBI to be involved in this case more than just the card team and stuff. So why is the FBI keep getting brought up first and foremost when discussing, when these people who have actually talked to law enforcement that may have any information keep referring to the FBI first and foremost when they're talking about law enforcement connected to this case? Can anybody tell me that?
So, with that said, we didn't know where else to go. We couldn't take our investigation anyplace else. We could not go to the construction site because we weren't told where that construction site was, and nobody else would tell us.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best to read this. This is the letter that, or not letter, but this was the information I received from the viewers. Now, I'm not going to state their name. I did in the original video, or their YouTube name anyways, but I don't think that's the important part here. And yes, I know I got a lot of flack about this, but it's sort of, I mean, who knows? We do not know what is going on in this case or what may or may not have happened, okay? So just leave it at that. But this is a email that I got after I did the video, because during the video and then during the live stream, we were questioning, trying to figure out who the female was that they picked up, and I had said Crystal Spencer, and this is the answer that I got back from them. And it says, it says, Nana, I just saw your email replying back to me. Now, y'all remember this was months and months and months ago. This was while Dawn was still in jail, I think. Anyways, it says, just seen you replying back to me about taking a ride up there to 110 Ben Hill. I'm sorry about that. I'd still be interested in going if it's still on the table or even relevant right now. I told you the story about us picking up a lady who gave us information on the summerwells case. You said you thought that the girl might be Crystal Spencer. I looked up on Facebook, and you were absolutely 100% correct. Her husband is one of the Davids you spoke of. My other question is she relevant to Summer's case? I'm asking because I missed out on a lot when we left town to take care of my mother. I'm wondering where she falls into this case. Has she come forward with information or false information or anything? I'm curious how you found her and what part she plays in this. Thank you, ma'am. Well, I believe I did answer their questions, and if you're familiar with this case, everybody knows that who Crystal Spencer is, and that the father, I don't know if it was her husband, but the father of one of her children, I believe the younger one, his name is David Britt. He's one of the Britt brothers is from Beach Creek up there. His brother Robert is the one that had the 15-year-old that went missing from the mall in Florida. That reminds anybody of anything? Okay. And then the original letter that I had received, or the original information, I keep saying letter because it came in an email, but the original information was this. And this is what sounds familiar to that guy's report, is what I was referring to. And like I said, I'm not going to say their names, as my name is. My wife and I picked up this girl who was walking with about 6 backpacks, obviously in distress. We picked her up and took her to the nearest gas station. We were making sure that she was okay, and she was talking about how she was waiting up for someone from Rogersville, 3 streets over from Ben Hill Road. Now, that being said, I am not in any shape, form, or fashion claiming this story is fact. I asked about Summerwells when I found out she was from there. She told me a story that she claims everyone knows. Candace and whomever were at a water park. Something happened to Summer there. She said it was an accident and that Don came, picked her up. She was wrapped in a blanket. She was taken up in the woods and buried. She also told us that she left her husband, or was thrown out, I should say, because he had beaten her up and they hung around the Light family. She was very beaten up and obviously coming down off of something that she said was meth. Her husband, she said, was over the Aryan Brotherhood in that area. She told her she was 30 years old and told us his name. I would appreciate it if none of this would be mentioned with my name attached. I did call TBI with this information because of the names she was dropping. I just thought you were the most responsible one that I could tell about this. Thank you, and we enjoy your show. God bless. Now, the fact is, I don't know what happened. None of us know what happened. But like I said, when another one of my viewers sent me the link from Nesbitt, I think is his last name, Skyline News, that was like a year and a half or more ago that he did that report. But when I rewatched it, it like rung a bell or put a light on in my head, and I remembered what the viewers had told me about when they picked up Crystal Spencer and what she had told them, or what was allegedly told, or what I mean, she may have made it up and told them that. I don't know. They don't know. They did the right thing by calling TBI. And all I know is that to me, it just seems really, really odd that these two stories sort of coincide with one another. And in what she says, everybody up there that's, around there knows the truth. So is this a possibility, guys? Could it have been an accident? Could Candace have gotten scared? You know, and as far as Crystal Spencer saying it at the water park or whatever, she may have meant the swimming and, it just got mixed up. I don't know. But I just thought I would put the information out there. You guys, tell me what you think. And also, I wanted to put it in here, but I forgot to clip it and put it in here. Don on Doug's channel last night kept saying that something to the effect of he's trying to get Candace to come forward and talk. He's trying to get her to tell the truth or whatever. I wonder. Tell me what you think. Because I wonder if maybe something close to this didn't happen. I'll see you guys on the next video, or hopefully we'll do a live tomorrow. And love on your kids, call your parents, and God bless, guys.